Have you ever wondered what would happen if Noah just said no? You know the story. God sees the world is full of corruption, decides to hit the reset button with a massive flood, and tells one righteous man, Noah, to build a giant boat to save his family and a pair of every animal. But what if Noah, faced with this monumental task, just threw up his hands and said, sorry, that sounds like way too much work. Let's dive into this massive what if. First, let's be real. Building the ark was no small feat. We're talking about a vessel roughly 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Noah was 600 years old. Imagine your grandpa getting a divine command to become a master shipwright, zoologist, and project manager all at once, with no power tools, no internet tutorials. And in a world that had apparently never even seen rain before, the sheer amount of ridicule he must have faced from his neighbors would have been immense. Hey Noah, planning a little cruise. Where's the ocean? It would have been a century-long project of faith, sweat, and probably a lot of splinters. So, if Noah had refused, you could hardly blame him from a human perspective. He would have simply continued living his life, perhaps trying to warn people in other ways. But ultimately, he and his family would have been just like everyone else when the floodwaters came. Without the ark, the story changes dramatically. The flood would still happen, as it was a divine judgment on the wickedness of the world, but without Noah's floating sanctuary. The outcome is, well, total. Every human, every land animal, every bird would have been wiped out. The story of humanity would have ended right there. No descendants, no Abraham, no Moses, no David. The entire lineage that the Bible traces would have been completely severed. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? The planet would have eventually recovered. Water would recede. Plants would grow again, but the world would be an empty stage, silent and still, without the sounds of people or animals. But let's explore another possibility. If God's plan was to preserve humanity, would he have simply given up if Noah said no? Probably not. God's ultimate purpose is rarely thwarted by one person's decision. It's more likely that he would have found someone else. Perhaps there was another person, maybe not as perfectly righteous as Noah, but righteous enough. Plan B, let's call him. This new person would get the divine blueprint, the call to build, and the promise of salvation. The story would be similar, but we'd be talking about the covenant of Methuselah or Enoch's ark instead. Humanity and the animal kingdom would be saved, but the narrative we know would be fundamentally different. It shows that while individuals have free will, the grander divine plan often finds a way to move forward. This whole scenario really highlights the incredible importance of one person's obedience. Noah's yes wasn't just about saving his own family. It was an act of faith that had consequences for the entire future of the world. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, the tasks that seem the most daunting, the most ridiculous, or the most impossible are the very ones that can change everything. Noah's choice ensured the continuity of life and became a symbol of hope and new beginnings after a storm. So, the next time you see a rainbow, maybe think about the guy who spent 100 years building a boat on dry land, and be glad he didn't just say no. Thanks so much for watching and pondering this with me today. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's biggest what-ifs, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.